Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 7:26 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And it is Monday, May 10th, 2021. As you guys know, we go live on Facebook starting at 8 o'clock a.m., Facebook and YouTube. So get ready to tune in for that. Quick headlines for you guys this morning before we get into a great interview here. So coming up Wednesday, which will be the 19th from 1 to 3 p.m., Aurora's Downtown's Streetscape Committee is inviting you to a planting party. Join for this party in Lot A across River Street behind Hollywood Casino. Then head to Gillerson's Grubbery for happy hour on Penny Street. Bring a towel, mask, gloves, and a water bottle. RSVP by today. All right. AuroraDowntown.org. That is the place. Shouts out. Coming up. There's another good thing happening on June 25th, which is a Sunday. July 25th, which is a Sunday, from noon to 5 p.m. Hot rods and hot dogs, barbecue, and a car show celebrating the 3-year anniversary of Harry Beast Dog Parlor and the Gentleman's Parlor. So Harry Beast is a dog groomer and Gentleman's Parlor is a barbershop. Very cool. We'll be out there on that day. Music, art, food, and cars. Looking really cool. Sunday, July 25th from noon to 5 p.m. The address for that is 215 West Galena Boulevard in downtown Aurora. Basically Galena and Lake Street. All right. This Friday, the 14th, Stronger Together, the Quad County African American Chamber of Commerce is hosting a community blood drive. This will be hosted at Hip Hop Fit with Gene Hicks, 639 East Boughton Road, number 150 in Bolingbrook. Shouts out Bolingbrook. At the Promenade, and Bolingbrook Shopping Center. You must register and schedule for an appointment. We've posted this on our Facebook page, so please check this out. Or you can call 734-755-7245. 734-755-7245. Each donation saves up to 3 lives. And on Friday the 14th, this will be going from noon until 4 p.m. Shouts out to the Quad County African American Chamber of Commerce. Lastly, did you know that virtual diabetes is preventable? Or no, not virtual diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Excuse me. There's a virtual diabetes prevention program coming up Wednesday the 19th at 5 o'clock p.m. This will be an informational session in Spanish, and this is brought to us by Amita Health. We have posted this on our Facebook page. Please take a look at that and sign up. Or you can call 630-897-4000. And when you register, the Zoom link for the conversation will be provided to you. All right, so that's all for the news right now, my dear friends. We're going to get into the live news portion coming up here at 8 o'clock. So get with us, get your coffee ready, and get ready to have some fun with us. We got a special guest this morning. Can you guess who it is? I'll tell you this. They are one of the coolest political figures ever. Stay tuned. And that is the news. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing excellent. Thank
Good
you.
to see you again. Been a while.
It has been quite a bit. Yeah, it has been quite a bit.
For the listeners, this is a traditional good episode, but it's an episode with a gentleman that we know. We have Mr. Sal Abbate here of You Need Health IL.
Yes.
All right. And we're talking about ARPA and how it affects the ACA. ARPA, for those who don't know, is the American Rescue Plan Act.
Correct.
First of all, how you been?
I've been pretty good. I've been busy, trying to get everything just kind of restarted again.
Okay.
And so I'm just kind of getting reintroduced back into my business. So
right,
which is kind of again. So
It's COVID season and era, but we're coming out of it and everything. Now, were you before we get into ARPA and everything like that? Are you born and raised in Aurora? Are you from Aurora?
no, I'm not. I'm a transplant.
Oh.
I'm a transplant.
Where are you from originally?
So originally, I was born in Italy. I was
Okay.
born in Palermo, Sicily.
Oh.
And my family immigrated here when I was 4 years old. We actually lived in Brooklyn for about a year.
Wow.
And then my dad didn't like Brooklyn, so we migrated here to Chicago. And then actually went back to Brooklyn again for a couple of years. And so my dad tried that twice. And he hated it, couldn't stand it, so came back to Chicago. I grew up in the city of Chicago.
Okay.
On the northwest side of Chicago, just on the other side of O'Hare Airport. Then once I got married, moved out to Addison, Illinois,
Okay.
and then was there for about 10 years, and family started to grow, so we were looking for something a little bit bigger with a little bit more land, and ended up in North Aurora. So we've been there since 2001.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, so
Very
good,
cool.
yeah.
All right. So how long have you been in the healthcare or insurance industry?
So originally I started back in the late 90s,
Okay.
is when I first started in the insurance industry. Took a little bit of a sabbatical there for a little while, got into tech, and then started up again around 2 years ago.
Okay.
So altogether, it's been a little over 10 years, but I did have a little bit of a...
Right. That reminds me though, because we did talk about that before.
Yeah.
Your background in tech is actually longer than your background with the insurance or anything like that. Tech was first.
Well, insurance was first.
Okay.
And it was funny because when I was doing insurance, I was doing pretty good, but I got enamored with the technology because back then the insurance companies were kind of ahead of the curve in terms of using what we now call laptop computers. You know, back then they were mobile computers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we used to have those, and I kind of fell in love with the technology. I did away with my business, with my book, so to speak, and
Okay.
I pursued the technology. And I'm glad I did at the time. It was good. It was great. Well, it was actually really good, right? So, but then around 2008 or so, 2009, kind of when everything kind of hit the fan, I started to look back into what I was doing before. So that's kind of when I started to take a look at it. But it took me a while to get back in it because in the end, I mean, nobody's paying me to do this, right? It's all based on how much business I can bring in. I am an independent broker. Right? I don't work for anybody.
Right.
I work for myself, which is really what I wanted to do. So it takes a while to get this going. So yeah.
Okay. Now, before we get into ARPA and how it affects the ACA, for those who may not know,
Sure.
what is the ACA?
So the ACA, also known, or what it stands for, is the Affordable Health Care Act. The Affordable Health Care Act. It's also known as Obamacare, right? So a lot of people dubbed it Obamacare because it happened during the Obama administration.
Right.
So basically what it is the ACA is a marketplace where people who don't have insurance or people who are not covered through their employers, and about 80% of people are covered through their employers. So the ones who are not covered through their employers, they have a place to go and look to see if they could find affordable health care.
Okay.
And that's where that marketplace, or here in Illinois at least, and primarily what I will be talking about moving forward, unless I otherwise specify, it's all going to be based on Illinois.
Okay.
Okay. So here in Illinois, Illinois itself does not have a marketplace. We use the healthcare.gov or the federal marketplace. Within that marketplace are several health insurance carriers.
Okay.
that are registered and approved by and certified by the federal government to offer health insurance for individuals.
Right.
Okay. There's 4 here in Illinois, or at least up here where we live. I think down south there might be a couple of different ones, but for us up here, there's 4. There's Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ambetter. there is Bright Health, and there's Cigna.
Okay.
All those are carriers that are certified with the ACA. Now, of all those carriers, only one of them offers a PPO. The rest of them are all HMO. So if you're looking for a PPO, there's only one place to go, and that's Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Right.
Other than that, then all the other ones have some sort of a plan, right?
Okay. Now, ARPA. What's ARPA's history?
So ARPA was, all right, so ARPA was just introduced. As a matter of fact, it was announced towards the end of January. And ARPA was, it was a rescue plan that, it included a lot of things, right? I think part of it had to do with, there was monies available. I think part of it had to do with money that was sent, like relief money that was sent to individual people, right?
Right.
I don't remember, it was $1,400 or whatever it was, $600. There was money there, right? But what it really did is that it also, and as far as I'm concerned, and what I, where my expertise is, it affected the Obamacare. So basically, what it did is that it extended, I don't want to say it extended, but what it really did is that it renewed a open enrollment period. So as everybody knows, there's an open enrollment period every year to get on the marketplace,
right,
and to get Obamacare. So typically it's from November 1st through December 15th, right? And then if you don't get it there during that time, unless you have some sort of a special event,
right,
you have to wait again till that period comes about. Well, through the ARPA, what they did is through the ARPA, what they did was they extended it, or they renewed it. So now, from February 15th through August 15th is a special enrollment period, which is basically kind of like the open enrollment period. Pretty much does the same thing, but it is available to everybody who is marketplace eligible, and whether they're submitting a new application or they're upgrading or updating an existing application. So that's what ARPA does. Also what it does is that it offers accelerated coverage. So during traditional open enrollment, November 1st through December 15th, during that period, you would choose your healthcare plan, right? And then it would not take effect until January 1st.
right,
Okay? With the special enrollment period, this is accelerated. So say for instance, you took a plan out in, say, April 20th, your effective date would be the 1st of the next month.
got it,
So technically, even if you're on the 31st day, technically your coverage would start the first day of the next month, so it could be the next day, right?
right,
So that's definitely accelerated. And then depending on clients, it can be retroactive as well. So if you have like births or an adoption or something like that, you can make it retroactive as well too. So that's part of what that's what it does. But there's also a lot of changes there as well too. So
okay.
So
Now, how can people contact Unity Health IL, or you guys have a website?
actually, I do. So my website is really easy. All right. Although you can get to it through the letter U, needhealthil.com.
Okay.
In my opinion, an easier way to get it is salabbate.com. SALABBATE.com. Will bring you to the same place. And then at my website there's a lot of information in regards to a lot of this stuff.
Okay. SALABBATE.com.
That's correct.
All right.
Or if they want to email me, it's salabbate@youneedhealthil.com.
Okay.
630-892-5945. Call me.
What's the customer experience like for you when you deal with people and getting them signed up?
So basically what we do is this, is that we find out what it is that where were they?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like what you have? Okay. And where do you want to be? What are you really looking for?
Right.
Right. So a lot of times, depending on, so obviously you have to renew it every year. So traditionally, what I do is we kind of look at and see exactly what you've got, and then see whether or not it's sufficing what you need. Right.
Right.
If it is, then typically there's really not much to do other than just re-up you. Right. And either A, you can do it on your own, or I can do it for you.
Right. Gotcha.
Doesn't matter, right? If you want to do it on your own, I can point you in the right direction, and then you can do it on your own. And I could still be the agent of record, but if you say, hey Sal, you know what, I really just kind of want to do it on my own, because I'm a night owl, I'm gonna be up at 2 a.m. and and I know you won't be, so
Right.
So then I'll give you a link and say, here Curtis, go to this link, put in all the information that you need, it'll prompt you, and then you just go ahead and at some point hit submit, and depending on your situation, you're either gonna have to pay, put in your first month's premium or not, depending on the
Right.
situation.
Do you find that young people, or folks in the newer parts of our discussion here going forward, do they know about the importance of healthcare and things like that? How is the information, do you feel, that the public has about basic healthcare, access to healthcare, and all that?
I don't. I think people understand the importance of it, but I still think people are afraid to delve into it. And unfortunately, people think about it after the fact, right? So I get hurt, or something happens. And the reality is that, especially for young people, right? Young people are indestructible.
Right.
So the reality with a young person is not that you're going to get cancer, or that you're going to get, you're going to have a heart attack or all kind of nasty diseases. The reality is that you are going to be looking and texting and walking down the stairs, and the next thing you know, you're going to fall and break your ankle. That's most likely what's going to happen to a young person.
Right.
In other words, you're going to have an accident.
Right.
And the problem with accidents is that they actually end up, from a medical perspective, sometimes cost more than
Treatment.
a treatment or a disease, or because colonoscopies are something that they do every day. They know how much it's going to cost. So between insurance companies and providers, that's already been negotiated.
Right.
That's done. But if you have a compound fracture, that's not something that they do every day. So that's an individual thing, right? So your compound fracture is completely different than somebody else's compound fracture.
Right.
So that ends up costing more, and people don't understand that. So a lot of times these young people who decide not to get insurance, right, because the individual mandate is no longer there. That's what ends up kicking them in the butt, is that they have an accident, and now I have to go get health care, and well, the problem is I don't have health care, and I can't get health care now because I'm sick, or I've got I've got something, right?
Right.
So I don't think they understand the importance. I think they could make it, they could make it a little bit easier to understand the way all this stuff works, but it's not. I don't know if they do it by design. It's not easy to understand, right? Because somebody who just wants to get some health care, and you start looking at, there's a deductible, there's an out-of-pocket, there's a co-pay, there's co-insurance, and they're like, what does this all mean, right? But which one do I get? Why is this one cheaper than this one, but this one has the same deductible, but this insurance, and there are subtleties in there. So that's why a lot of times you would call somebody like me. So for instance, one of the things that I do, if you are on the ACA, right, and you get completely flustered and like, oh my God, I need to talk to somebody. There's a place there where you can just click that button, put in your information, and then I am one of the authorized people that will get your information and call you back or email you back and say, hey Curtis, see that you've got a question, how can I help you?
That's cool.
And I do that completely for free.
The personal experience.
Right, and then I can help you. I've helped many families and customers navigate through the ACA because they just get completely flustered.
Right.
Because there's just too many choices. They don't understand the difference between a co-pay and a co-insurance. and an out-of-pocket, and an out-of-pocket max, and a deductible, and all that stuff. So,
Anything else that the listeners should know about, or our viewers should know about when it comes to insurances? Anything else that?
in general,
Yeah.
I think people, if you don't, there's a couple things, and I'm going to go over this here in a few minutes, in terms of what. But if you have health insurance through an employer, that's probably the best thing for anybody to have. So if you already have health insurance from an employer, don't look around.
Right.
Okay, just take it, go with it, because it's probably the best you're gonna get at the best price. Even though people are being charged, sometimes what they think is a lot of money,
Right.
okay? And if you don't believe me, just go to my website and go to, I wanna buy insurance now, I think is the tab, or click on that, and it'll bring you someplace, and you don't even have to put your name in, just your zip code, and whether you're male or female, and whether or not you smoke.
Right.
And then it'll bring you on to the exchange, and you can see exactly how much you would be paying if your employer wasn't paying for your insurance.
Oh.
So that's actually kind of cool.
Now you got some facts for us. You got some quick.
Right.
notes?
So what I've got is the expansion, right? So what does it do? So basically, what it does is that it does give extra subsidies. So one of the most important things is that if you did not qualify for the ACA before, more than likely you will now. Okay. Now you won't know about it because if you didn't qualify for the ACA, you're not on the ACA. You're on a regular plan. So you need to go back and look.
Gotcha.
And if you don't know, again, contact me and I'll help you navigate through that. Okay. And it's actually amazing. I have an example towards the end. We'll talk about it real quick. So basically, so there's extra subsidies. Now, if you're already on the ACA, go back, and it'll tell you whether or not you have extra subsidy coming up.
Okay.
Okay. Typically, if you do, that should, unless you're going to change plans, it's very easy. It's just a matter of they just want to just confirming some information, right? And then you just go ahead and you just keep moving forward, and they still, they bill you. You don't have to pay anything. The only thing that changes is if you decide, say, you know what, I'm on a bronze plan, and now for the same amount of money, I can go into a silver plan, or I can go into a platinum plan.
Right.
Then you have to resubmit everything, right? And again, if that's something that intimidates you or whatever, give me a call and I'll help you navigate through that as well too.
Okay.
So that's one thing. The other thing, so basically, so the new subsidies, and the subsidies are based on the federal poverty level, and now they go beyond the 400%
Okay.
of federal poverty level.
Okay.
So people that are making into the 60s, $60,000 or more, will be getting a subsidy as well. So that's something to look for.
Okay.
The other thing is huge too, and this is kind of like what's going to turn it upside down a little bit. So, a couple of things. If you're receiving unemployment, starting in July, you will be treated as if you are at 133% of federal poverty level. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that basically you will be able to get a plan on the exchange for 0 premium. So, unemployed,
Yeah.
starting in July, you'll be able to get 0 premium.
Okay.
If you're already on the exchange, you should probably go back, take advantage of the bigger subsidy. I have a client who, we just did that the other day. We took advantage of the subsidy, and then he and I are gonna get back together in July. And, cause he's unemployed, and he feels he's still gonna be unemployed in July.
Right.
And then just take advantage of that. So again, same thing. If you have more questions about that, or just cause it's coming up, give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to.
What's your number
walk
again? I didn't write that down.
630
Okay.
892 59 888-888-4545.
Or go to salabbate.com.
Sal Abbate. Yeah. Now, what it didn't do, so one of the things, so it fixed a few things. Obviously, the unemployment thing. The other thing, it didn't fix what they call the family glitch, right?
Okay.
So, the family glitch basically is, so say Curtis, you have insurance from your employer, right?
Right.
And most employers who give health insurance are fairly generous with their employees, and they subsidize their employees' plan quite nicely, right? Now, by law, if they give you insurance, they have to extend insurance to your family. So now say you've got a couple of kids and a wife, and now you want to bring them onto your employer-funded plan, right, which is very good. The employer, although has to extend it to your family, does not have to pay for it.
Right.
So a lot of times what happens is that you get great health insurance for a really good premium, and as soon as you bring your family on board, just whoosh,
Right.
Next thing you know, you're paying $1,000 a month just to bring in some people. Now, it does not address that, okay? Unfortunately. Because unfortunately, those people can't go onto the exchange.
Right.
Okay? Now, there is a workaround there legally. Again, give me a call and I'll be more than happy to, because I do this with families a lot.
Okay.
It's called a carve out, where I take either the entire family and put them on a different plan that is not an ACA plan, or sometimes just the children,
Okay.
and then put them on and save people hundreds of dollars a month.
Okay. So
Easily.
there are options.
There are options, correct? Yes. And then now this is, as of right now, this is not permanent, it's for the next 2 years, okay? They are working on making this permanent, because this is not law, this is by mandate
Right.
at this point, okay? So it's definitely available only for the next 2 years, and not much longer than that. The
Okay.
other thing is this. There's another thing that's pretty amazing about this whole, and is also COBRA. So, and let me get to that. So so it covers a lot of stuff. So the way the subsidies work, and without getting into too much detail, because there's a lot of moving parts to it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's a tax credit, right? So you tell me that you're a single male making $35,000 a year. That's what you're projecting for this year, and then they figure out how much of that is taxes to the federal taxes, and then that tax is now given to you back as a subsidy towards your health insurance.
Right.
Okay, that's very simplistic. Okay. If there's anybody out there watching, oh, it's a lot. It is. It's very much more complex than that.
Right.
But just to make it understandable. Now, what happens is that if they pay you too much subsidy, right, at the end of the year when you make your income taxes, you have to pay it back.
Right.
Okay? All right.
Right.
In 2020, if you paid too much subsidy, you don't have to pay it back.
All right.
Yes. So anybody that did that doesn't have to pay that. The other thing is this. So if you were involuntarily terminated from your job,
Right.
and you were offered COBRA, you could get it paid for at 100% up until September 30th.
Very cool.
And you can go back and elect it, even if it's been more than 60 days. So if you were offered
If you were
COBRA,
involuntarily terminated within 60 days.
well, no, you can go back. So say
Okay.
so if you were involuntarily termed this year,
Okay.
okay, this year. Actually, you know what? And I'm not even sure. They're not really clear about whether it's this year. So typically, when you're given COBRA, you've got technically 62 days to whether or not you're going to pull the trigger on the COBRA.
Right.
So if you're beyond that 62nd day or that 60th day, you can still go back. So you know what? I want my COBRA, and the government will pay for it.
Okay.
Okay, now something like that, they're gonna have to go to the ACA, to the healthcare.gov website, because they don't tell us exactly how that works.
Got it.
Let's see, and what else? And what we don't know though is, and again, it's through September. Now, what we don't know about that is, will there be an SEP or a special enrollment period for COBRA enrollees once the COBRA subsidy runs out? We don't know that yet.
Okay.
Okay? Hopefully we will at some point soon, but as of right now, that's pretty much it, right? So, what else? So if you're a current enrollee into the marketplace, the subsidies are not automatic.
Right.
Okay, so even if you want to stick with your current coverage, you still have to go back in, all right? If you want to, so if you want to update your application after the first, the additional premium tax credit amount will be reconciled on the 2021 taxes, and then the new subsidies will be applied on your premium starting May 1st.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so that's, and obviously unemployment subsidies will go live in July. And then just one quick example of one I wanted to show you of what this really means. So this is actually one of my customers, okay? Couple, over 60 years old, but not Medicaid, but over 60. And their income, combined income, is $69,854,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Last year, they did not qualify for a subsidy. They were paying $1,920 a month to insure the both of them.
Right.
This year, with the new subsidies, $1,920 is still what the full premium would be, but because there is a cap, they're gonna get a subsidy. So now their maximum premium went from $1,920 to $495.
That's awesome.
So they're saving $1,425 a month. That's $17,000 a year. That's like getting a part-time job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like, so the savings are definitely there. It does help certain people more than it does others. So more people. So even though there is more subsidies. If you're female, mid-30s, mid-20s to mid-30s, and you've got a child, you're going to get a bigger subsidy. And if you're on the other side of the spectrum, where you're older, you're also going to get a bigger subsidy. Although, in the middle, you're still going to get a bigger subsidy, but not quite as big as you would if you were,
Right.
Single father, single mother, things of that nature. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, unless you've got other questions or
You like what you do?
I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. I'm constantly studying, constantly making sure that I'm up on all the laws. So I want to be able to, I truly believe in affordable health care. Okay, the biggest problem I have with the ACA or the Affordable Health Care Act is that there's really not much affordable about it, especially if you don't qualify for a subsidy, and it has nothing to do with health care. This is health insurance. Health insurance and health care are two completely different things. But I think people should have access to affordable, not only affordable health care, but also affordable health insurance.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that people don't know about that they can take advantage of to make their cost a lot less. And even if you've got really good insurance, even if you've got really good insurance, there's still ways to save money that people may not know about.
The show ends on a positive note.
Yes.
What is your message today for the people of Aurora?
On a positive note, well, I think on a positive note, what we've got is that we've got, if you're 60 and above, and you're on the ACA, you're going to be able to save a ton of money. $17,000 a year. I think that's very positive.
I agree, brother.
And even if you're not, you're still going to save a ton of money. Either way you look at it, if you're on the exchange, you're going to save a lot of money. Give me a call. I'll help you walk through it. No obligation. Matter of fact, I'll give you a link. Just do it on your own. You don't even have to deal with me.
Send us the link and we'll post it.
Okay,
Post it to
yeah.
our Facebook page. Make sure people can get this information.
Yeah,
Get out there and
I'll
see it.
definitely do that. Yeah.
So, on behalf of the show, we want to say thank you to Mr. Sal Abbate for coming in. He's a personal friend of the show, so we appreciate seeing this brother once again.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, good to have you. All of you guys out there, salabbate.com or call 630-892-5945 to learn the difference between health insurance and health care.
Correct.
All right. Peace.